Are you still there? Did we lose Crystal? Crystal? Earth to Crystal. Come in, Crystal. Earth to Crystal. Hello. Yes, we are starting.
Okay, I'm going to try to fix the echo, but until then, just keep going, go on without me, and I'll chime in. I'm going to try to join again.
Oh, wait. Then I have to find you again and make you organizer. All right. We can make it happen. So, while Crystal gets that figured out, because we don't know what that is, because I don't hear it on my end, and I hear all of you guys perfectly clear. I mean, every one of you I hear without any problem whatsoever. But you're all so quiet. It's just crazy. So, I'm actually in my parents' house. They have this beautiful, nice house they just built, and they're visiting my brother. I'm watching the roost, and it's really kind of lonely in here to be all alone in a house. But it's a pretty cool house. In fact, the French doors to my left go right out to their bird feeder. And today and yesterday there were summer tanagers. Ever seen a tanager? What a cool bird that is! And bluebirds and those goldfinches, and then there were, cardinals and blue jays. Anyway, there was a bunch of just cool birds and hummingbirds, and it was just kind of cool working here. So that's where I am now, and as I look out the window at the bird feeders in the complete blackness, I totally can't see anything. So no chance for summer tanagers at the moment. So tonight we're going to talk about Google authorship and rich snippets. And I'm going to tell you right now that is a redundant title. Google authorship and rich snippets, because authorship is part of the rich snippets program. So while we're talking about rich snippets in general, I will also focus on Google authorship because it impacts all of us immediately. And then rich snippets. Actually, I'll say that a different way. Rich snippets also impacts us immediately, or it has the ability to. But people seem to be excited about Google authorship. So if you're tweeting tonight, we are using the bloggingcon hashtag. And I got to check and see if I can find Crystal, because she has to log back in. Anyway, this was what she was going to tell everyone. Tonight we're actually giving away a free pass to one of our blogging concentrated events, and everyone who registers tonight between now and midnight, I will give you a crisp $20 bill when you arrive at the event. So it's like $20 off, but you get. I'm going to try to get the crisp ones, like the ones that your grandma got at the bank and put in your birthday card. That's what I'm going to try to get, like the really fancy crisp ones that you don't really want to spend, and that'll be like a savings plan all by itself. So for those of you who don't know me, who doesn't know me? Does anyone here know me? I mean, there were a few email addresses I actually did not recognize, which is another thing that I should tell you. If you've been on these calls, and I just said this before we started, but if you've been on these calls in the last 6 weeks, you'll know that I am without Darren these last little bit, and Darren sets up the back end. So, and since he's a pro at it, he already knows all the stupid things not to do. I, on the other hand, am stupid things central. So, for instance, when I created the registration page, I just put down enter your email. So now on my attendee list, which I can see floating on my screen, like there's a column that says name, and every single person on this call, all like 200 of you, your name is friend. So I can't even call you by name. Whoa, is that Crystal?
Hey, can you hear me?
How did you get back in?
Is there a bad echo?
That's awesome. I cannot tell if there's an echo because I didn't hear it earlier. So, did you hear anything that I was talking about while you were gone?
I did.
Did you hear that we're giving away a free pass to Blogging Concentrated?
I did.
Did you hear?
That's exciting. Okay. People are still hearing the echo, so I'm just going to go out and you just do the webinar without me.
But no, but like, can you put carpet on the walls or something? There's got to be something. Man, don't go too far. Well, I'll need you. All right. So these are all the things that I am. I'm a teacher. This is that's like what we're doing tonight. I also spent some time teaching junior achievement, which is teaching business to fifth graders, and I taught free enterprise in Romania, in college and for third graders. And I've become a professional speaker. I used to be just a regular speaker, and then then I was just like a big loud mouth at my house. That's a different kind of speaker. And my kids and I make lots of videos, and they actually use the video revenue as part of their allowance on YouTube. And it says endurance athlete. That's because I don't know. I've done 30 or 40 triathlons, and then I'm an Ironman. I've completed that particular event, and all that other stuff. And then Crystal is a superstar who echoes, by the way. I did not put professional echoist on here, but I'm seeing how that would have been appropriate. I put unofficial nutritionist because, I don't think she has a master's degree in nutrition, but she might as well. And she's a teacher and an author and a professional health advocate. As a professional blogger who writes on all kinds of things about health, she gets paid for that. So I put professional. She's a savings.com deal pro. She's got 2 little rock stars. And let me just say this. I put on this slide that she was a Whovian, and I put 2 O's because I thought it was Whovian. Like Whovian. But she said is Doctor Who, W-H-O, so we changed it to Whovian. So she is a Whovian. And she's a professional blogger. Oh, you can't see that. That's the last slide. Oh no, make it go away. Whew, that almost got past me. All right. So let's get into the meat. Who wants to get into the meat? Crystal, you still there with questions and stuff if people have them? Could you be? Please? Somebody needs me to turn my... How can I turn my volume down? I do not know. Hopefully she comes back. All right. And then answer some of the questions that are on there because there's many questions and things to say. So perhaps I will talk a little bit quieter. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what the heck is rich snippets and why do we care? That's the first part. Now, you don't have to take notes there because I just want you to know what it is and why do we care. And then we're going to get to the how do we do it and how do we make this easy. So we're going to get to that. And that part, you can take notes if you want, but we're recording this, so you don't have to take notes, but you can. So don't feel like you need to take notes at this part because this part is like telling you what a grilled cheese sandwich is. Like you don't need take notes on that. You need to take notes on what spatula to pick. All right. So Google and Yahoo and Bing, Yahoo and Bing are the same now. They got together. Obviously, I don't know if Yahoo and Bing sent separate guys or not, but they might have. So they got together and they said, the web is not going the direction we needed to go. And this is something that Bill Gates said about 8 years ago when people kept asking him, was he surprised by Google and how it totally dominated when he was trying to dominate? So he said, you know what? Search engines are antiquated already. Already they're just not right. Because when you search for something, you get 9 million results. And you can't really just get one result. And that's really what people need is one result. So his thought was that Microsoft was working on a better search engine. So if you want to search for something and you will get the result instead of 9 million results, in which case you have to choose. So that particular particular stream of consciousness created this conversation between the search engine people that there's something wrong with the search engines. They can't parse everything. I mean, their goal is to go out and find the words, because I do SEO, and they go out and find the words. So, for instance, if you wanted to write about your favorite pumpkin cake, if you don't ever use the word recipe, then Google's not going to find it if you look for pumpkin cake recipe, unless you do a bunch of things. But in general, it's looking for recipe, the word recipe in recipes. So the search engines decided that this sucks. Some of the good stuff on the web isn't being found because of the way things work. So together, Google, Yahoo, and Bing together decided we need a new system. And Schema.org is the new system, which I'll take you to right here. Schema.org. Now, don't go there yet. Don't get too excited. I'm just telling you like the big picture, and then we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. So the concept was, what if we made website owners? What if we made them tell us what the page is so that the search engines don't have to try to figure it out? So they said, what if we made some code? And like if you were going to write a book review, then you would put on your page code that says, this is a book review. Now, you can have your page title and your content stuff, but this is just like a piece of code, and the code says, hey, this is a book review, or this is a recipe, or this is a movie, or this is a video, or this is a local dentist, a local business. So this is what they thought. They thought, what if we came up with this code, and you could put it on your page, and then it would help the search engines know what you were writing about instantly. Instead of the search engines having to decipher it, like you just get to tell them. So they came up with Schema.org and these rich snippets concept. So now, and this concept's not going away. This is like Blu-ray. Like it's here to stay. So this is not something you get to skip. And if you decide at this point in time to skip it, if you decide to leave the call and just not do this, I mean, you can leave the call, but if you decide to not do this, then you're basically going to be watching VHS movies, when the rest of us are watching our Blu-ray. So the new order of the web is we are going to tell the search engines what we're writing. And we're going to tell them in quite detail. For instance, if I click on this local business thing, and I scroll down, and we're on schema.org. Now, for instance, this right here, see up here? Beach walk, beachwear, and giftwear. This is what we would normally write right now. And we would put the H1 tag. Now don't start taking notes. This is not the how-to. This is, I'm explaining what it is. So don't go crazy thinking you got to write all this stuff down. Like this is big picture. We're still on what is a grilled cheese sandwich. All right. So right now we're taking our H1 tag and we're putting beachwear. This is the name of the store. And then we have the description of the store, and then the address and the phone number. Like this is what we're putting on our pages right now. So if you're a local business and you put this in the sidebar or the footer, this is what it looks like right now. So when we're done tonight, and there's easy ways to do this, so don't go too crazy. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be telling them that this is a local business. See that right there? And then we're going to tell them the name of the local business is this. And then we're going to tell them that the description of this local business is right here. And then we're going to tell them that the address that we're going to give them, we're going to start giving them an address. And the address is this right here, 3102 Highway 98. And it's located in, see the address locality? It's located in Mexico Beach, and it's in Florida. And this is the phone number. See how we're telling them phone number and we're telling them this is the region? So it's like this new code that's helping organize the web. So if that makes sense, if you understand that what the general idea is behind this, then the rest of this call is going to be really easy. If you don't understand this part, then the rest of the call is going to be equally hard. except I'm going to show you some really easy ways to accomplish this. So here is the original HTML for a recipe. This is just one more example, and then I'll move on to something else. See how we have prep time, 15 minutes, and you might have even put like indented here, right? You might have put UL, and then you put the little LI for bullet point, and then LI for bullet points, and you could still do that. I mean, that's just formatting stuff. We're not talking about formatting. So, but soon we're going to be telling them that this is a recipe. See that up there, recipe? And the name of the recipe is Mom's World Famous Banana Bread. And then we're actually going to be telling them who wrote this recipe, John Smith, the author. And we're going to say when it was published, and we're going to actually tell them what image that goes with the recipe. So you could have, like a bunch of images, but you're going to be able to tell Google which image goes with the recipe. And then we're going to tell them the description and look, the prep time, cook time, recipe yield, all this stuff. Doesn't that look like totally crazy hard? I mean, it does look totally crazy hard. But it's not. And I'm going to show you. There's some fun tools. All right, so if I go over here to the full list of types and I scroll down to where it makes sense for us. So now these are called schemas. Like there's code for recipes, there's code for books, there's code for blog posts. So that's why it's called schema.org, because these are all different schemas. And look at how many there are already. There's exercise. There's special code to tell Google this is an exercise plan, or a media object. And within media object, we're going to tell them it's an audio or an image or a video. Then we're going to tell them it's a photograph or a recipe or a review, TV episode, TV season, TV series. So we are actually going to be doing the organizing of the web ourselves. And yes, it looks like craziness. Like I don't possibly think that I could add this to what I'm already doing. It's just so much. How am I supposed to know? Like how am I supposed to know there's a schema for medical entity? How am I supposed to know there's a schema for medical condition? How am I supposed to know there's a schema for drug cost? There's all these things. But like I said, there is an easy way now, and there's going to be easy ways in the future. Now, why is this awesome for us? Well, for one, this is not going away. And we are the people on this call, people in our industry, bloggers, we're the ones who are going to be on the forefront. And while everyone else is listening to their VHS, we are going to be learning and keeping ahead of the curve. Okay, wait, I'm scrolling down to make sure I don't have any super crazy echoes. I'm looking at all these comments. Is there anything for Frugal? Are there schemas for tutorials like crafts? All right. So the questions are pretty generic at the moment. And we'll get back to all the kinds. But to answer those two questions, like are there Frugal labels? Are there savings labels? Are there recipe? Then you just have to go to schema.org and then click on this one, full list of types, and scroll down. Because the very top is like horrible. Look at all this stuff. I don't even know what this stuff means. I haven't looked into this stuff yet, but we're not there yet. We're down here. Blog post. There's actually schema for a blog post. We're going to tell Google that we're writing a blog post. All right. Now let's get into the good. Why is this awesome? All right. Now, for one, we all want our listings to show up. So look at this recipe right here. So this person who used the rich snippets and filled them all out, actually the picture, because remember how we identified which picture, shows up in the listing, and how many stars it's rated and how many reviews were there on this post. Or basically that's comments, and how long it takes to make this apple pie and how many calories it has and the title. So between the two of these, which one is more exciting to click? Obviously this one, right? Now some of you are saying the top one, I'm sure. So let's look at this one. And I just Googled rich snippets examples because, you know. So then look at this one here. This person used the Google Authorship snippet, and they got their name there, and they got their name here by Dan Ackerman. And this you can actually click, and then we'll go to your Google Plus page, and it tells more about you, the author. And here's you can click this, and it will take you to your Google Plus profile where it shows all the other articles you've written. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do that. So that's pretty cool too. So then here's like a really blurry one. Oh wait, it's not blurry anymore. See all the different ratings? I'm trying to think if there's like a different kind of example in here. So lots of, how about this one? So here is another author by Sam Glover. All right, so this is like one benefit of rich snippets is that the search results will be richer in value. They'll like provide more information to the reader. And in theory, people will likely click our links more often because they're richer in information. But I also wonder if in the long run, when everyone does rich snippets, how much ours will stand out, because then it will become the norm. So this is like the point of time where we can totally take advantage of it while everyone else is learning it, and get extra clicks until everybody catches up. So I don't think it's going to the effect of this is going to last forever, but it's certainly going to last, in the short term. All right. So a question was, do we get excited about looking for schemas for everything on our site or posts we want to highlight? All right, I'm going to show you that too. I'm going to show you how to do new schemas, like new posts, how to go back and do old posts. And I'm showing you easy ways, so don't get too upset or too excited yet. But I definitely think if you're trying to rank for like all things raspberry compote and raspberry cake and raspberry jelly and raspberry pie, that you want to go back to your whole raspberry section and make sure that you're using the schemas for that part. And I wouldn't try to do all 1,000 pages of your site tomorrow, but you could take little sections at a time. So the other cool thing about oh, you're back! Woohoo! Does anybody hear her echo? Because I think it sounds a little bit like funner, like a little bit muted. I'm excited to hear people say you have no echo.
The only thing about raspberries is they get stuck in your teeth.
What? What kind of teeth do you have?
Much better. Can we do some searches for blueberries instead?
I don't think so. No. Only raspberries. Sometimes raspberries are moldy, though. If you buy them at the store, it's not good. Like, I have to open that pack, and I have to look through every single raspberry because I'm afraid that one in the middle and the bottom is going to be hairy, and it's going to hide. I'm not too excited about that.
Okay, still a big echo. I'm out again.
What? I don't hear the echo. Very sad. I don't know if you know this, Crystal, but if in the right-hand side under audio, there's a button for telephone. Like, you could try calling in. If you click that, it'll give you a phone number. Okay, so here's the other part of rich snippets that is potentially super duper awesome. And I don't even know how to explain this other than to tell you, do you remember when the iPhone came out? And it wasn't just a phone. There were like thousands of apps. Remember that? Like apps. Like, holy moly, you could add stuff to your phone. And it was pretty new, just even the concept, because back in the days of, when I had a Palm Trio or a BlackBerry, there weren't any apps. You just had your contacts and what else did you have? You had a calendar and you had the phone. Maybe you had something else. So remember the app, and now the apps have gone crazy, right? So the reason that the apps have gone crazy is because the source code for the iPhone and for the Droid is open. Like these programmers can see, they can use some API thing. I don't even know the words for it, but they can use some sort of programming language to tap into the phone and learn how to make apps. So the cool thing about rich snippets is all this information is public, It's it's in your source code and anybody can see it, which means people are going to figure out awesome ways to use the source code from all the different sites. Everybody that's using Schema, because they'll be able to search for the schema in the HTML. Like maybe they could find every author who lives in Urbandale, California, just by searching and create cool apps like meet everyone that's invented cough drops with cough syrup in them. Here's a cool app to do it. Well, anyway, the fact that it's public and that people can see it and it's easy to find your code means that crazy things are going to happen to our sites because people can find the information in a way they cannot today. I don't even know what's coming, but it's going to be cool. All right, so now we're going to switch. We're going to switch gears. But wait, before I do that, did anybody have a question about does anybody have a question about like what it is and why we need it before I move on? Crystal, is that you?
Yeah, this is me. How's that?
Oh, you sound quite a bit different, but I don't hear an echo. I guess we shall see in a moment. Oh, people are saying echo. How could that be?
I've tried 3 different things. Okay, I'm out.
Yes, I'm using headphones. Do you think that affects the... All right, I'm sorry. Crystal has an echo. I'm so sorry. Okay, so with the absence of questions about like what it is and why we use it, I mean, does that make sense? Does everyone think that makes sense? I know I can't take 200 questions at once, but does anybody have... Okay, so people are starting to say it makes sense. So that's a bunch of people. Okay. So does anybody think it doesn't make sense? Do I need to stop here? Because I'm ready to move on. Okay, good. All right, now. Okay, now if it doesn't make sense to you, then like email me after and I'll talk to you separately because like 90 people said it makes sense. Does it have anything to do with meta tags? For the purpose of this conversation, no. It does not have to do with meta tags. Yes, this will be recorded for later use. All right. So here we are in schema.org. Now, let's go back. Now, if we pick this local business, right? And these are like all the attributes that you can tell Google about your business. You can tell it what the picture is, the name of it, the description of it, the address. You can say it's like see this basic containment. You can say it is a suite inside of this building. Look at all these crazy things. You could say here's a photo, here's the person to contact, here's an employee. I mean, that's like a ton, right? Like way more than we're ready to handle. And then, so down here, like I said, here's the examples. So what I have been doing until today, when I learned an even easier way, what I've been doing is I've been taking this and I have been copying it and pasting it onto my site. And then instead of beach wear, I put in, John's dentist. And then instead of a superb collection, I've been putting a dentist in Cleveland. And then I've been putting in the address and all that and the phone number. And perfect, I got it done. So that seemed like the only logical way because this is crazy. Like even the fact that it says place, like how do I know? See down here where it says like item prop equals, would I just put the word place there? I guess I would. Or organization. Anyway, schema.org is hard. So I found something better. Schema Creator. Schema-creator.org. And like, this is awesome. So this is what I did today for a bunch of my clients. I went in because they're all, I have a bunch of local clients. So I went in here and I went to all of their sites. And for instance, the law firm in Columbus, I noticed that their address was in the footer. So I went into appearance widgets and then I went into footer and I saw, oh, look, there's the address. And it was just typed out. So here instead, so I put in law firm, and then I put in HTTP law firm. I know it doesn't matter if I get it wrong, .com. And then I put a law firm, and then I put somewhere in Dayton. No, I didn't, because that wouldn't be a street. 1106 Dayton Street. And then I put Dayton, and then I put Ohio, and then I put 45229, and then I put USA. Now look at this. Now I can copy and paste this and put it right in the footer, and it's perfect. It's got all the little stuff that I need, and I didn't really have to do anything. Now, clearly, this is more work than going to your appearance editor and pressing footer, and your widget and pressing footer and typing the address. Clearly, it's another step, two more steps. Typing it in here, copying and pasting. So we're not talking perfection, but we're talking about we're on the cusp of awesomeness. So there are going to be thousands of people who come up with great programs that does something like this that makes our life easier. And then there's little links for more information. But then there's book review. Here's a product review. So you can come down here and do your product review. You can do here you put it's 4 stars on a scale of 1 to 10. Whoops. And then this little rating thing actually creates the stars for you. And you put the review, the body of the review. So you have to go back to your post, and then you copy and paste the body right in here. And then body. Does it show up here? It didn't show up in there. So then here's the item reviewed and the date published, author, description, all that stuff. So that's all you do. But look, it's limited. It's limited. So there's no recipe here, right? So we couldn't do recipes with this tool. And I haven't found any tool that does them all yet. Basically, this guy, whoever created this, picked the most logical ones: person, product, event, organizations like local business, movie, book, and review. So schema-creator.org is great, and it will make your life easier in doing some things. So then, okay, wait, I got to go check. Okay, wait. There's many questions. Will Google rank if you use this? Okay, now, Google is trying to organize the web. So soon, posts that it can't organize will not rank as easily because the microdata. Now remember, this is called microdata. It's called structured data. It's called media snippets. It's called rich snippets. They're all the same thing. So eventually, the people who don't have the rich snippets or the microdata, they're just not going to filter to the top because that's not the way the system's going to work. Josh, what's his name? Shoot, I can't think of his name. I will in a minute. A pretty big blogger. He just did a case study where he searched for 8, 9, 10 things, and then he categorized the top 100 results. So, of the top 100, how many had rich snippets and how many did not? And in all of the keywords that he went over, and I'll remember this in a minute, he found that a huge percentage of them were using the rich snippets. So in an unscientific poll, he noticed that there are quite a few sites at the top that are using rich snippets. And in fact, a much higher percentage of them are ranking than there are people using them. So, 5% of the world is using them, but 40% of the results had them. So take that for what it is. Here's another question. Are the plugins that say they do schema worth installing? So I checked out the most popular one today called Rich Snippets WordPress Plugin by WP Buddy. I thought it was harder than schema-creator.org. In fact, I thought it was so much harder that I wasn't going to use it because of schema-creator.org, I felt like it did what schema-creator does, but it required you to know some of the schema. You needed to know that the address field was supposed to be there. So there was like an area where you add the different fields. And I thought, I don't want to add fields. I just want to fill out fields. I don't know what all the fields are. So that's the one I looked into. It seems to be the most popular. It's got 5 stars, but I think it's just because there's just no other way to do it yet. I don't think it will have 5 stars for forever. Do we do this by page or by post? So if it's a book review and you need to do the code for book review, then you have to do it by page, or maybe by URL, basically, by post or page. Who decides the rating? Well, we decide the rating. I don't understand where you would do for a blog post and where would you put the code. So that's another question. What would you do for a blog post? So you would put the code at the very top. And I'm finding now Rachel Martin from Finding Joy, and she'll be at the Minneapolis Blogging Concentrated. She's like a Facebook Open Graph super expert. She has seen that when she uses Facebook Open Graph, which is like rich snippets for Facebook because they have their own little system, kind of like iTunes had their own little format for music. You couldn't play it anywhere else. She's found that when she codes her stuff as an article and not a blog post, that it gets seen by more people. So for a blog post, you would put this code, this schema stuff at the very top. Yes, you can create your own 10-star rating. Where would you go back and paste that code in your post? So, like the address code, that was a question. Where would you go back and paste the code in your post? So if you wanted to put an address in the sidebar, you'd put the code in the widget where the address was before. Or if you're going to put the address in the footer, then you'd put the code in the footer. And then the address would look just the same to the world. It would just be an address, but it would have code behind it. So it says another one here. Someone recommended the plugin all-in-one schema.org rich snippets. I got no idea on that one. I looked around, I tried to find all the good ones, and that one was not mentioned. I don't know if it was not Josh Parr. All right, I'll get to those other questions here in a minute. So here is wait. This is not what I wanted. I wanted this one. All right. So this is another tool. So just like schema.org, schema-creator.org, this is Google's helper. Kind of like schema-creator is a helper. This google.com/webmasters/markup-helper. You know what? I'll even, how am I going to do that? I'm going to make a quick sheet of all the links that I'm talking about, and I will email it to you. How am I going to do that? I will think about that. Definitely, if you're on lettersfromdan.com/mynotes, if you've signed up for my notes, you'll get it. The rest of you, I'll figure out. All right, so let's do HTTP. Let's do become a blogger. This is Leslie's site. Can we do this article? I don't know if we can do it for a home page. I don't think we can do it for a home page. Maybe we can. Hold on. Hold your horses. I'm coming right back. Gotta make an adjustment. All right. So here's Leslie's site. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Here's an article I wrote on Leslie's site. How convenient. How convenient is that? And we'll go back. We're going to put that article right here. Article. So now, this tool, it's kind of like schema-creator, but different. And I'll show you how and why it's awesome. So, watch this. Here is the article on this side of the page. Here is the helper on this side of the page. Article, helper. Article, helper. Is everybody saying that now? Because I can't hear you. All right, watch this. I'm going to highlight the title, the name of the article, and I'm going to tell it that's the name. Look at that. Name. There's the name. Look at that rock starishness. And then, is there a date on his? Can I do this? Date. Look at that. Date. And then what else do we have? Image. Image. Look at this. Isn't this awesome for like old posts that you've already written and you don't want to go back and do stuff to? So then, let's see, URL, publisher. We don't need all of these things. Oh, if we had a rating, I guess we could do it, but I don't have a rating for this. Publisher. Can you do this? How do you get the URL in there? I guess we'll have to learn some more, huh? So now if this was a recipe, if we picked that, there would be all those things, ingredients, cook time, so we could highlight those and fill them all in right in there. And then we create the HTML, and look, there we go. Here's all the data. Holy moly, that's a lot of data. Holy moly. How could that be so much data? Oh, because that's the data for the whole page. So we have to find the data just for the... What? That's crazy. I should have used this example earlier when I was testing this out. But the other two examples I had were just fine. So then we would have to look in here for where the article starts. And we would copy and paste the code. Just the part that's applicable to the article back into our site. So where we have the title in WordPress, we would go over here and we would find the code for the title. I picked a horrible example. See all these things? These are like comment boxes and they're the social sharing buttons, like all that stuff on his site's page. So moments ago, I thought the structured data markup tool was awesome. And now I'm thinking, what happened? Why was it much cooler a minute ago? Style sheets, typography? I'm giving up on that. I want you to try that on your own site because I did try it 3 times today and it worked pretty darn good. I do not know why it's pulling all that. Microdata. Let me see if there's any more questions on that part. I did just click on it. Good idea. Can you hide the schema in your blog post? Make it invisible. Can you hide the schema in your blog post? So the schema is actually, the code. It's like the bold. Like right here, you can't see the word H1 for the H1 tag. So the schema is behind it. You can't really see it unless you do view page source. So that's not... I don't think... Maybe you have a different question. Maybe I answered the wrong question. Because you can't see it. Where do I go to see these comments you keep referring to? I wonder what comments I keep... So whoever asked that, tell me what comments I keep referring to. I'm going to... Somebody gave me a URL to copy and paste. I hope this is a family-friendly URL. I know Ashley, so I'm thinking it probably is. Life by Ashley. So she says this schema added the gray box at the bottom. So this is a... Is this a book review? Yes, it is. It's a book review. So she has the code in here for book review, and probably the title and the description, and then the title of the book and the author and the date. So behind this, in page source in WordPress, you would see all that code, date published in this. So then when we take this post right here and we take it over to the... No. Hello, markup helper. We take it over here to the structured data testing tool. And that's google.com/webmasters/tool/rich snippets. This testing tool, in theory, look at this. So I just plugged in her blog post because she's already used the rich snippets. And this tool will tell you whether you did it right or not. This post does not contain authorship, which is fine. But it is a review. See how it says review by Ashley and a date that it was written, and it has a rating. So it has like richer information in it, rich snippets. And then here's all the other stuff it could have. It could have author, it could have publisher, but it doesn't necessarily have to. It's not what we were going for. This tool just measures everything. So that's awesome. That was a good example. What if you click on, oh, I see that. Can you hide the schema? Ooh, I see Crystal. She's announced who won the free pass. I'm going to write it down or I'll forget. And then, so she took all the attendees and put them in like some randomizer and picked one. All right, I just went through all the questions. I'm going to get back to the rest in a minute. Okay, so we figured out why they're important and what we're using them for. And they're all based on information at schema.org. This is like the place for all the information. Now, this place is the hard place, though. It's all here, but it's hard. Then we found schema-creator.org, which is a great way to actually create these little snippets. Like your address for a local business, or if you're writing a big movie review, then you can use the rich, you can tell the actor and all that kind of stuff so that you can put that in your post. And I would put it at the top myself. I would want, and you can add H1 tags and stuff like that to the code. So I would still make the title of your blog post, and then, try it, see what happens. But here's what happens when you use the schema creator for a movie, and then when Google indexes your blog post, it pulls the title out of the blog post because you told it where to pull it. It pulls the rating out of the blog post. It pulls how many, I guess this person had actually votes. And then those are all different, but it pulls out the director and the actors that are in the movie. It just pulls it right out of the blog post and puts it in the search result. So this schema-creator is pretty cool. And then this tool, the structured data testing tool, is just to test it and see if you did it right. So in fact, I did some work for Lori today. adayinmotherhood.com. I wanted to see, did I get her authorship correct? And I did not do it for the homepage. I did it for one post. And I cannot remember the name of the post. How good of me to not remember the name of the post. So then, so maybe that will go on to authorship. Was there any questions about what we've covered so far? That it was her about page. How did you know that? Maybe she's on the call. There it is. On her about page, I put some code to tell that she was the author. And look, about, and it shows up that she's the author and her picture directly from Google+, which we can talk about here next. Thank you for that little extra information. Oh, you did see it earlier because I brought that page up, didn't I? It looks like your post has to be published already to use that tool. Yes, indeed, the post needs to be published. Will schema take over SEO, or are they totally entirely different? So SEO is the art of proving relevance. You have to prove that you're the most relevant result for something. And schema.org is giving us more tools to show that we're relevant for certain things. So yes, schema.org will eventually become part of search engine optimization because we will want to fit into the little cubbies that it wants us to fit into. I think hiding the schema question is for sponsored posts so that people who ask us for sponsored posts don't complain about the excess code the schema adds. I do not know the answer to that question because I don't know why people would complain about excess code if it's in the back. So we can talk about that off after this because I definitely do not know. And okay, good. Coming back to the rest little by little. Okay, now I'm going to move on to authorship. Now, authorship has more of an impact on SEO than any of the other schemas so far. Doesn't mean it's going to be the way it's going to be long term. So, in Google's desire to show the most relevant result, it's decided that there are people out there who are influential, whose influence all by themselves should affect the blog post or the blog. So, if, for instance, Bill Gates decides to write an article and put it on my site. Now, my site, it's not Social Media Examiner, so it doesn't have that kind of traffic or cloud. But the fact that Bill Gates would write on it, Google's trying to say, look, if we can see that Bill Gates was an author of a post, then that post should have a lot more power because there's a man of influence behind it, or a woman, behind it. So we're now putting authorship on everything so that we can start to wield our influence on the web. So that means we want authorship rights on our site. We want authorship rights on our guest posts. We want to be noted for the things that we do in our industry so that soon when we write a guest post, we're going to be bringing the rain with it. We're going to be rainmakers just by the fact that we wrote it and we're influential. It's going to get more juice than if it was just a plain old post with the same SEO. Now it's got an author attached to it, and the author will have some power, some value. So that is going to influence the search results. So Google, and I don't know about Yahoo and Bing as much, but Google is also trying to say, look, if you're searching for something and somebody you know wrote it, then that means it's more relevant to you. So it's going to show more results of people that you know, or that are in your circles, or that are in like one step away from your circle, because they're trying to bring you the information that you need. And if you're reading about rich snippets, and some guy at Okinawa wrote an article about it, or some guy in Free Weekly Mastermind, you're probably going to get the search result from the guy in Free Weekly Mastermind because he's probably one circle away from you on Google Plus or in your circle. So that's the value of the authorship. Now, to get authorship, it's very simple, although it's confusing. You have to go to plus.google.com/authorship. Now, you have to do this when you're logged in to your Google Plus account. So you can't just do it from some hotel computer. You got to be logged in. And basically, you put in your email address. Now, you need the email address that's associated with your domain. And if you have cPanel and you don't have an email with your domain, then email me and I'll help you set it up. But you need crystal@thethriftymama.com or Dan@lettersfromdan or Stephen Levy@wired.com or no, Stephen Levy@stephenlevy.com maybe. So that's what you need. You need to put that in here. Now, if you just have a Gmail address, there is a method, and you have to go follow this link and do a couple more little steps. But there is a method to get authorship to that. But get yourself an email to connect it to your domain name. And I'm telling you, it takes like 2 minutes if you have cPanel. I don't know how to do it if you don't have cPanel. But if you have cPanel, it takes like 2 minutes. So then you can have your own domain name. And when you do this, what this is doing, and this is kind of dumb, but what this is doing is is Google is like basically verifying, just because you have an email with that domain in it, it's verifying that you own the website, even though it's in your analytics, even though it's in Webmaster Tools, even though it's associated with your Google Plus account already. For authorship, it wants to verify that you own your website by this process. I know it's dumb, but we're not in charge. It's just dumb. So when you do that, and it adds down here, and I'm telling you it's dumb, it added this email address for me. See the little check? Like it added it automatically. What? I turned my phone off? Oh, it's one of those people. So it added, see how it says the profile owner has verified the email. And it added my website somewhere in here. Right there. Lettersfromdan.com. It added it today. And I was just redoing it. So automatically, the authorship part said, oh, look at this. We're going to add your email and we're going to add your website to the contributor to section. And you might only have one thing in here. You might just have your website. I'll explain that in a second. So that's what it does. So now I have been associated with my website. So then, and it asks you, when you go through this process, I'm totally sorry, I'm going backwards. Wait, where's that? When you go through here, it actually sends you an email and you have to click the verify button. So there's that one little step. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. So you verify that, and then you go over here and you make sure that you got your email and you got your website in here. And then you go to your website. Is it here? And you download the plugin called Google Author Link. Am I showing that anywhere? I'm not showing it anywhere. Lame presenter. No visual for that. Google Author Link. That's the plugin that you want. Now that plugin, the only thing that plugin does is, in the user section of WordPress where it shows all your users, and it's in the left-hand side, it's called users. Holy moly! Knock off all the stuff. Oh wait, that was Crystal. Do I take it? Well, hello, Crystal. I'm on a webinar. I am on a webinar, and you're calling me during the webinar. We could try it. Go ahead and try to talk.
Can you all hear me?
This is Crystal's attempt number 26C. I shall look.
I vote that next time that we do this on Google Hangout.
Look at that. No echo, everybody's saying. Yes, we can hear Crystal.
Yay! Okay, I can talk now.
What kind of moron presenter takes a phone call during the webinar?
One that needs his teammate to be on the call.
Were you thinking, holy crap, his phone rang. I can call him.
I know, the phone rang and I was like, that's genius. I should do that. And then I was hoping that you hadn't put your phone on mute.
I thought nobody else would call.
Okay, so back to the webinar.
Okay, so that plugin was called Google Author Link. Now, the only thing that it does is when you go into your users and you click on your name and you scroll down, it tells you to put your name and your nickname and what you want your articles to be attributed to. It adds one line, and that line is Google+. And you're going to add your Google+, if you go to your profile. Am I on my profile? I probably am. You're going to take that right there and stick it right in that line in your users section on your WordPress site. That's it. Then you're all set up. I hope that's easy.
Somebody asked if you can give the name of the plugin again.
Yes, it is Google Author Link. Plugin. I don't think it says plugin, but it's called Google Author Link. And it has 5 stars, and I tried it on 8 sites today, and it worked fine. But all it does is add one line to users. and that line says Google profile URL or Google+.
Okay, we have a question from Jody. She says, how do you get verified for your own domain? Will you explain how to get listed as a contributor on a website where you don't have an email address for the root domain? She has a client who needs that.
So, and there's no way to get an email associated with the root domain. Interesting. All right. So there, you have one more option, and that is the Rel Equals Author Tag. So this is for people like this question, and if you're going to write a guest post somewhere. So I guess I could go back to become a blogger. All right. So this is my guest post on Become a Blogger. Now, I do not have an email associated with this site. But using the Rel Equals Author Tag right here, which is on, which I can send you this in the email, support.google.com, but it's also on Letters from Dan. If you do the ahref equals and then your Google plus URL with the question mark, and after the question mark is Rel Equals Author, and then you can put your name. I don't know why they say Google, but I guess it's because it's Google. Then you get authorship rights on your own stuff, on your blog posts. So if I copy this and I put it over here, this is not my site, then you can see that even though it's on Become a Blogger and I'm a guest writer, that I get authorship rights in my name, and that links to my Google Plus profile. And then I go into Google Plus, into the About section, and in this part, Contributor To, I go down to the bottom and I edit, and I add a custom link to that blog post, which is this one right here. I just added it today. So you put the URL and you put the name of it. And then you are a current contributor. So then you have your authorship rights on a site where you do not have a domain or on a guest blog. Does that answer that? Is that helpful?
We have another question. There is an area in Yoast SEO plugin to add Google Plus to. Does that work for authorship?
I would try that first, and then go to the structured markup tool, right here, google.com/webmaster/tools/rich snippets, which I can put. Where should we put all these links? I think I should make like a quick and easy cheat sheet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a cheat sheet with all the links. And then you can put it right in here. You can put the blog post that you published after you put the Google Plus link inside Yoast and press preview. And if it works, then rock on with your bad self. And if it doesn't, then I would try something. I would try the other way.
We have a follow-up question on that same thing. Can you add the URL as a contributor without doing author tag on where you're guest posting?
I have tried that. Most of the ones that I have on there, I do not have the author tag, and it does not show up over on this tool. So you can definitely add. I mean, I added all of these. Some of them I do not have the Rel Equals Author, and when I go test them over here, it does not work. So yes, you can add it, and no, it doesn't work.
If you have a site with one author and you have a guest poster, does the Rel author tag apply to them?
Say that again?
If you have a site with one author and you have a guest poster, does the Rel author tag apply to them?
Yes, the Rel Equals Author tag will overwrite the original site owner's stuff. So, for instance, on this site, which is Leslie Samuels, Become a Blogger, he has authorship rights for the whole site. But by putting the Rel Equal Author tag in this particular post, it overwrites him and makes me the author. Did that answer that?
I think so. No response.
Okay.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Okay.
And then, oh my God, you are so awesome, Dan, people are saying.
Oh, lovely.
Hashtag awesome.
I bet you that was my 9-year-old. Although he doesn't usually call me Dan, so maybe not.
Somebody asked if you can talk about Rel Equals Publisher.
No.
Okay, no, okay. Moving on.
I cannot tell you about Rel Equals Publisher. I can tell you about Rel Equals Publisher in about a week when I've done all the research, which I'm going to do. I have it on my to-do list, but I don't know. I didn't research anything. I know nothing. I sort of know what it is, but even explaining it to you would confuse me. So I'm going to say no.
You know, something I really appreciate about you is that when you don't know something, you're willing to say, hey, I don't know, I'm going to do some research on that first.
Oh, yeah,
Pretty cool.
I'm clearly in the idiot camp on many things.
Oh, hashtag Dan is awesome, someone says.
Nice.
How much time per day or week should we spend going back and adding rich snippets and authorship?
7.6 minutes on Tuesdays. And then I would say that you should use your best judgment on Fridays. I would skip Saturday mornings. Wait, if you're Leslie Samuel, I wouldn't do anything on Saturday mornings. And maybe skip Sundays. And then Monday, I would do it all day. Only rich snippets.
Okay, we have more questions coming in, but we're after 10 o'clock Eastern time, so we probably need to wrap up the webinar, but we can follow up with some of these other questions that were in here, maybe with when you set up all that information with links and stuff. Dan, can you do that?
Yes, but wait, I'll answer that question for real.
Okay.
So, how much time should you spend? So for my clients, I'll tell you this. I'm going to spend more time looking forward than backwards. I'm going to change the things like I did today. I changed everyone's date or address. I added the local business address snippet stuff to every site because that's universal on every footer on every page. And I deemed that was important enough. I needed to do that immediately. Now, if I'm trying to figure out, for instance, if I'm in Webmaster Tools and I'm seeing that my banana bread recipe is ranked is coming up as number 11 or on page 2 of Google, then that might be one where I go back in, I use the rich snippets to try to improve the quality of the page to see if I can move it to page 1. But I would definitely spend time where I feel it is most strategic. So I wouldn't just be going willy-nilly and doing every single page because I don't think that's a good use of time. And a lot of pages lose their SEO value over time because they just get outdated. But addresses, I would do the author thing. I would do all the universal stuff. And then if you're really trying to rank for Halloween stuff this year, then I would spend a good amount of time getting all of that stuff up to date with all the right code. Like if you're reviewing products, I'd get my reviews and my stars. I would do that. I probably wouldn't do that for coupon posts because they expire, they die. It's probably a waste of time. I would stick to things that are gonna stick around.
Awesome. So I think now is the time we announce the winner of the 3 Paths to Blogging Concentrated Atlanta.
Wait, what did you do to pick it? Like, what kind of technology do you have?
It's called random.org. It's pretty simple, actually.
How does it work?
Well, you go to the website random.org and you punch in the numbers. So we have 160 people per sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put 1 through 160 and I put generate a random result, and we came up with the number.
Oh, sweet. So then you match the number up with some person on the list?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that does seem totally that seems totally random and fair.
It does.
What number won?
Well, I've gone through, it was a lot of work to figure it out, but I came up with number 66.
Oh, that's me.
And number... No, you can't have a free pass to your own event.
No, it is me. It's totally me. All
But
right.
Holly 6 can.
Holly 6.
Yay, Holly! Woo!
Oh, that's
Holly
awesome.
just wanted to ask Blogging Concentrated in Atlanta. She is an awesome blogger out of Alabama, and her website is igobogo.com. She just wanted free pass. Woohoo!
That is pretty awesome. So now,
and I'm about to tweet out 2 winners of an Amazon gift card too. So check that out, you guys, in the webinar.
Oh yeah, we did the gift card for $20.
Yeah.
I am losing money every second.
If you guys haven't already, go ahead and register for Blogging Concentrated in Atlanta on October 12th, and we're going to go into this stuff and a whole lot more. Dan will be there live, so you can ask him your questions in person. And you know how he is at these events. He's very super helpful. So looking forward to seeing you guys there. And if you register tonight, you can get $20 when you show up on the 12th.
Yeah, I'll get the crisp ones, the ones your grandma gets.
The really crisp ones?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Like sometimes you get 2 of them together because they stuck and you didn't realize it, and then you have $40. That's the best.
Can I get $20 too? That sounds exciting.
I know. Maybe that will happen for someone. Somebody will get 40, and I won't know anything till like the next day.
Thank you all for coming. I'm so sorry we had all those audio technical issues. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next webinar.
Yay!
Actually, Google Hangout next time.
Well, I don't know what happened to you and your echoiness. So if you can leave if you want, because we did pass the time, but if you are sticking around, I will say I did run across this WordPress theme today. I don't have any idea what it does, but it's supposed to be schema friendly. So anyway, I thought I'd point it out. But you have to buy it. And if anybody has any other last minute questions that they want to ask, feel free. I'll stay a little bit longer, but otherwise, the rest. I know people are out there. They got to go home. Wait, who has to go home? Everybody's already home. Do we get $20 off for a future Blogging Concentrated event? That is a good question.
Well, this was a special that I worked out just for Atlanta, so I don't know about that.
I will say, if you sign up for any Blogging Concentrated today, you'll get $20 cash at the event. Any of them. Thank you. Yay, Holly. So,
I'm so excited Holly won. I've known Holly for a few years. She's a wonderful person. Can't wait. I haven't seen her in such a long time. I'm so excited. I get to see her again.
I'm pretty excited about it too. I think that Atlanta will be great. I think Minneapolis will be great. I love the one we're doing in Lansing that's in this little town called Owasso, which is next to Atlanta or next to Lansing. It's like at a college. I think that's kind of cool. Wait. Tell us about the workout company. The work company. What's it called in Atlanta? The work spot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a co-working space. We're having the event at a co-working space. They already have projectors set up, whiteboards, tables. Rayanne is the owner, and she is amazing. And it's this awesome co-working space where you pay. You can pay based on visit, or you can pay once a month, and you can go in as many times as you want. And you're working with other people who are basically entrepreneurs, and it's got that whole office space. You can have a cubicle, you can have just a desk, and this is so great for me. It's over in Duluth, which is about an hour from me, so it doesn't really seem logical for me to drive all that way. But I think we need more co-working spaces. I vote for more co-working spaces.
So what is a co-working space? How does it work?
Well, you pay once a month or pay for, depending on how they have pricing set up, and you go in and you can spend all day there. You get your own cubicle, or you get desk. I think the prices at the work spot vary based on what exactly you want. And they have a conference room that you can also reserve. So if you have to set up meetings, or if you have to do something like Blogging Concentrated, you can rent out the conference room. Make sense?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that is cool. So all of these events we're doing at really nifty places. Like Denver was in a library, but it was like an awesome library that had a coffee shop inside. Which, how many libraries have a coffee shop inside? And then Atlanta's at the work spot. Is the work spot like in a high rise?
Like a what?
Is it in a high rise, like on the 4th floor or something?
No, it's set up more like a small work spot. I'm actually going over there tomorrow to check it out and make sure we have enough desks and everything for the event.
Cool. And so, in case you want to know,
I'll take pictures on Instagram, and I know how you guys love all my Instagram photos.
Yes. So I'm making a frequently asked question page, which really isn't frequently asked questions. It's really like, here's all the questions I've ever been asked. And the first one is about the format of Blogging Concentrated. So at the beginning of the day, as you register, there's a table full of all the topics that we could cover. And I give you stickers, 3 stickers, and you get to put the stickers on the 3 things that are most important to you, that you really want to learn. And then once we're ready to start, we look at the papers, and the ones that has the most stickers, we start there and we work our way down. And sometimes we get off topic, but it's all, it's all your questions. We don't get off topic on purpose. It's just, what is it that you need? How can we help you get to the next level on all these things? For instance, if you don't know how to get an email address and you have cPanel, I could really show you how to do that in like 4 minutes. And that could be something you learn, and it'll totally be awesome for you. Some people really like it when they get their own email. Other people, I don't understand how they live without it, really. And then there's SEO, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit, in a little bit more detail. We'll talk about video and YouTube structure. Oh man, there's just so many topics that would help people where maybe you just don't understand one thing. And if you just understood it, you could get past it. You could outsource it. You could do it. You could get a bunch of projects done that you've been waiting on because you didn't get it. So that's the goal is, can we spend 7 hours making your life better? Anyway, that's what we're doing. And I'm hoping that everybody comes. I'm very excited about that.
I'm very excited too. I'm looking forward to it. Dan is awesome. Let's start the new hashtag, everyone.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe everybody is still hanging out, even though we're officially done and just rambling.
Yeah, well.
Everybody here, hey everyone.
Mrs. Wong says this is the best part of all the webinars is the ridiculousness at the end or at the beginning.
Here at the end and talking ridiculous stuff. Okay.
Yes. Occasionally, I just start singing.
You sing. I don't think I've heard you sing. I think we need to hear this. I love when you hear Dan sing.
You haven't heard me sing at the end? That's fun.
Yes, I agree. Everybody says, let's hear him sing.
So somebody says that the work spot is in a strip of buildings in downtown Duluth. And there's an awesome locally owned cafe next door that makes delicious coffee drinks. Why does the term downtown Duluth just sound odd to me? There's a downtown?
It's a very posh area.
Really?
Everybody's going to love it. And then afterwards, we're going over to Taco Max. So, once we've consumed all of this knowledge and spent the entire day with our brains exploding, we're going to go have some mixers that evening, hang out. I think Tiffany Wong votes we all go dancing later that night. But unfortunately, I have a flight the next morning, so I won't be going out dancing. But you guys can enjoy an evening out there in Duluth.
So again, at the end of every one of these, there's always randomness. Somebody's still waiting on the SEO for eggs.
SEO for eggs.
They do. So this is how it works. First, you unplug your laptop, and then you put it in the fridge under the eggs, and then you go to bed. And then when you wake up, the eggs are right there on top of Google for you, ready. Totally, very first thing that you could see. That's the best way. Really, there's no other way.
Connie says, you're chatting, but we're learning stuff. By the way, my favorite night was when Dan didn't know how to shut off the webinar.
See?
But didn't know that it was still recording. She said her family thought she was the loony laughing her head off.
Yes. You know what's funny about that is all of a sudden I'm thinking to myself, I wonder if I can remember again how to turn it off. Somewhere on here, there's oh man, now I got to start looking for it. Somewhere there's
this. Just close it, right?
There's this thing. Oh wait, I didn't even show my last slide, the most important one. Darn.
You didn't show the last slide, Dan?
Darn.
We ended like 10 minutes ago. Come on.
Here's the last slide. It's the one I always show. It is, don't wait. Be the biggest small dog you can be. Just go for it.
I actually said that to someone earlier today. We were chatting about, how it can sometimes be discouraging when you're trying to move forward and you're trying to get things done, and you just feel like, there's so many people out there that are doing so many better things than you, and you just get discouraged. But just got to remember that you need to look at the successes that you've had and not get discouraged by, what everybody else is doing or what you could possibly be doing. And even if you're still not doing exactly what you want to be doing, act like the big dog in the room, even with yourself. I feel like I have to do that, even when I'm here by myself and I'm at home. I'm like, you know what? I'm a big dog and I'm getting stuff done. I may not be getting done everything that I want to, but I'm still getting stuff done, and I'm not where I used to be with my business. I'm moving forward. So yeah, I love your dog analogy.
I love being the biggest small dog I can be. Although I will say that sometimes, just to be like totally open, it seems like when no matter how hard you try to be the biggest small dog you can be, it still seems like it takes a long time to get to the next thing, Like, I haven't been on Dr. Phil's show ever, and I'm clearly a head case, and I've been trying to show that to people, and I feel like it's just taking forever. Like, when are they going to call? And we make lots of like videos that are crazy, like chicken rice vegetable soup popsicles. And
that was disgusting.
Even though we make awesome recipes, and we try to make the biggest, best recipes that we can, like seriously, Rachel Ray never ever even like thinks about us. I'm not even really sure what it takes to get to the next level sometimes. I mean, what do we have to make, really? We made grilled cake. Cake on the grill. Like, doesn't that just scream Rachel Ray? Yeah, I think so. Cake on the grill.
I'm thinking, you know what? Why don't you give it a try? The kids to make the video, and we'll see what happens.
No, the videos are out there.
Rachel Ray for you.
The videos are out there.
You make grill on the cake, I will tweet Rachel Ray for you.
They're out there for public viewing. Like,
I think I just said grill on the cake. I kind of like that, actually. Sounds like a good book title or movie title.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I learned. My lesson I learned from grilled cake is that if you close the lid on the grill and you also do not have a cover on the cake, then all of the smoke from the grill goes into the cake, and then it tastes like cigarettes. And it's just horrendous. Horrendous. It's like the worst thing on the planet. Like one day when I was licking a frog, it was worse than that.
Connie, I hope you're laughing now.
I'm telling you, it was worse.
Yeah, I'm glad it's really late and my dinner has settled already.
Yes.
Hopefully it wasn't a poisonous frog.
At Thanksgiving, I totally tried to trick everyone by taking all the leftover turkey and dicing it tiny, 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 and I put it into the pancakes for breakfast, thinking that they were going to be like nasty, and everybody loved them. They're like, these are the best pancakes ever. It was very sad.
Aren't there hallucinogenic frogs out there so that if you lick them, like, you start hallucinating or something?
I don't know.
Seems like a thing. Should be a thing.
Although I will say that the weird part about licking the frog was actually flying when I was licking it. That was probably the weird part. It wasn't jumping.
No.
It was flying.
I still can't believe all these people are hanging out listening to all this.
It's you. See, most of these people are actually totally at work in another tab, and this is just still on because they're afraid that if they turn it off, they're going to miss us giving away $20 more.
Connie says, yes, Crystal, hallucinogenic frogs exist. See, the homeschool lady, I knew she would know.
How do you know that's the homeschool lady with just her name Connie?
I could be assuming it's the wrong Connie. Oh, sorry, we don't have names.
I know, I was an idiot.
We don't have last names.
I was a total moron.
Yeah, I do know a couple Connies. Maybe I'm guessing the wrong one. Well, Connie is really smart, whichever one she is.
Yes. All right. So let me see if.
Okay, I think we're about ready to turn the webinar off.
Okay, wait. I just got to make sure. Did I hit all my
Hallucinogenic
things?
frogs and all.
So if you have questions still, you can ask them in Free Weekly Mastermind. Like some people are asking, like, where do we put this code? And we can. I might even make like a quick little video about me doing a blog post with rich snippets, so you can see like where to put it. That might be helpful. Peppermint Connie. Who's that?
Peppermint Connie is awesome.
Do you know Peppermint Connie?
That sounds like a good Starbucks drink. I'll have the Peppermint Connie, please.
I've never met a Peppermint Connie before. Although, where's that picture? Am I logged in still? Probably not. Probably logged in as someone
Okay,
else.
we have people saying yes, they would like a video tutorial. So, next step, video tutorial.
Yes. Did you see my pictures from BloggyCon? Look at that. They had a big, giant hedge peppermint patty. Although I only posted Snoopy. Made out of hedge. Like, how do you make an animal out of a hedge? That's what I wanted to know. Okay. All right. I guess I should do something else now.
Thanks, everyone.
I need to find the button that says stop.